Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I am checking my volume. I think I checked it a minute ago, but I'm checking it again. This is what happens. Now, Wrath of Kahneman, to me, had one of the best tweets of yesterday. Scoop, Ripple ICO, he meant IPO incoming. They're apparently hiring a shareholder communications senior manager. And this is the type of thing that you might need for the lead up to an IPO. You'll be responsible for communications and relationship management strategy, execution, key groups of existing and prospective investors, current shareholders, financial analysts, Down here it says, with the CFO, which is also, remember, Ripple just recently, the CFO left, which means, and what a lot of these companies do is they'll hire a new CFO leading up to an IPO or planning for an IPO. But this person is going to work with the CFO and other senior leaders. They're also, look at this, manage Ripple's IR calendar of events end to end, including non-deal roadshows and speaking opportunities. Think IPO roadshow, folks. Now, what a coincidence that this comes out yesterday, because today, Linked to just so happens, who is one of my sponsors, they just so happen to be adding Ripple private equity. They ran out, and they're now adding more Ripple private equity onto the platform today. So keep your eyes on that. Ripple Swell Agenda's live, of course. Over the course of 2 days, you'll hear from Ripple customers, team members, Here's some of the people that are coming. Look at this, a guy from Polygon. This one caught my attention. Someone from Circle is going to be there. I don't recognize these other companies. Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority. Not sure which one that is. Now, the big news going around yesterday after the, first we had the market manipulation by Cointelegraph, where they announced that BlackRock's ETF had been approved by the SEC, caused the market to go up. Bitcoin went up, I think, 10%, and then it crashed back down when everybody realized it was not true. So Larry Fink was making his rounds, and I think people are missing the real news, because this, I've always said, Bitcoin's a distraction. Larry Fink knows. Remember, Robbie Mitchnick left Ripple and and then he was swallowed by BlackRock, and we've never heard from him again, but he is the head of digital assets over there. Listen to what Larry Fink says, and then I'll show you what he said 6 years ago, which I think is much more over the target.
Yeah, we've got a stock rally and we got a Bitcoin rally. At the moment, Bitcoin is higher by 5%, but it was much higher. You see that spike on the screen there? Take a look at around 9:30 a.m. Eastern. The cryptocurrency briefly jumped 10% after the crypto news outlet Cointelegraph incorrectly reported the SEC had approved the iShares Bitcoin Spot ETF. Fox Business reporters reached out to BlackRock and were the first to debunk the report. The outlet has since issued an apology, but what does BlackRock say about this and why there is so much eagerness for a spot Bitcoin ETF? Joining us now in his first interview since that strange story and the drama around Bitcoin this morning is BlackRock Chair and CEO Larry Fink, along with Charlie Gasparino.
Hey, look, it's Charles Gasparino, the same guy that will not cover ETHgate anymore. He's become a narrative carrier for the Wall Street guys. We had him over here on our side of the truth, and he decided to leave and go back to the other side. Wonder how that happened.
When was the first
When you see people that are carrying the water for Wall Street, go ahead and put that set of glasses on so you know that you're seeing it through that lens, because that means you're watching narratives being laid out for you to believe.
heard about this rumor, and what did you
Actually,
see?
I was busy all day. I probably heard it an hour ago, so it wasn't.
Yeah, well, we should point out Ellie Tourette, my producer, broke the story that it was not real. But it's like wishful thinking, isn't it? Isn't this what this is all about?
Well, I can't talk about the specifics of anything. I think it's just an example of the pent-up interest in crypto, and we're hearing from clients around the world about the need for crypto. I mean, when you think about, I think some of this rally is way beyond the rumor. I think the rally today is about a flight to quality with all the...
No, what it's about, I'll tell you what it's about, Larry. What it's about is everybody throughout the world understands or they see crypto as getting away from the manipulated Wall Street BS. That's why everybody came to this. And they see it as a flight away from Wall Street's manipulation and all of the shady narrative carrying and the dishonesty that's going on for decades. And you guys rigging the system for yourselves. That's what they see it. And that's why the second that they think that they're going to have a shot at getting these evil, and I do mean evil, and dishonest regulators out of the way, they pounce. Crypto would have trillions, if not quadrillions of dollars in it right now if it weren't for these the Gary Genslers of the world with Wall Street agendas and being told what to do.
All the issues around the Israeli war now, global terrorism, and I think there's more people running into a fight to quality, whether that is in treasuries, gold, or crypto, depending on how you think about it.
Now
I believe
now
crypto
he's
will
calling
play that type of role as a flight.
You've got to understand, this is not a stupid man. This is a very smart man. This is how you know that he's a part of the game. This same guy, I've been here for a while. I can see around corners. This same guy. Let me show you what he was saying 6 years ago. And make no mistake, these people have known for over a decade that crypto was going to be a part of changing the entire financial system. I've been one of the ones that's been sitting here at every turn watching them manipulate this because they weren't ready. But him going on now tells you these guys are ready, because for years he was saying, oh, my clients have no interest in this. And he says it at the end of this, but I want you to hear the beginning of it, because another thing I've been telling you for years, I believe that they created crypto because remember, for the past 10 years, what have they said? Oh, that's for money laundering. That's for this. I think they wanted the criminals and the money launderers to think that so that they could track them. He says it right here. This is 6 years ago. He knew it.
Have you developed a view on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency?
He knew it, but they weren't ready to make the money off of it yet. But he knew it. Listen to what he says.
And what is BlackRock doing about them?
Well, I believe in blockchains. We're looking at many blockchains. We created provider Aladdin, which is really a blockchain between us and the clients.
But that's the underlying technology.
But it's a private blockchain, okay? But we believe we can create more and more flow through information by having all the different reference points of a transaction being systematized. That's good. Related to cryptocurrencies, I'm a big believer in the potential of what a cryptocurrency can do. You see huge opportunities in it, but what we're talking about today, it's really much more of a speculative. People are speculating on it, but most importantly, what I think about most of these cryptocurrencies, it just identifies how much money laundering there is being done in the world.
I believe that's one prong of the reason they the government created it, was to be able to track the money laundering and the criminals. And I believe that it was used. Well, actually, that's for the private group. I've told the private group what I really think, but I believe that this was part of the reason all of this was created, to pretend like, oh, that's for money laundering, but you can't track that, when you can track that better than you could ever track cash. And that's part of the reason it was set up as a net to catch people.
People are trying to move currencies from one place to another. So I actually believe you're seeing the demand for it. But let's be clear: if we created a true global digital currency, I hate the word crypto, a digitized currency, then then you would not have money laundering anymore. You
can track it. You can track everybody.
Everything understood. Everything would be flowing through. Everything would be identified. You could see all the application, except I'm horrified on one point. How do we preserve the system from cyber problems? Because if the whole world is using this one network for financial transaction, it presents a lot of systemic risk.
Now, what you just heard, all of the people out there that are always watching green candles and whining about wind moon, and all that stuff, that's not the question I asked. What he just said here, hear it again, right here.
Is using this one network for financial transaction, it presents a lot of systemic risk.
Right. So what he's really saying is, look, this is going to happen, but it's not. But we need at least a decade or two to test this stuff. I believe that's what you've been watching. That's they've been setting up. I mean, I think Wall Street's been setting up their custody and various other things, but they've also, this had to be tested live on retail. This had to be tested live for a decade or more in order to make sure. I bet these different governments around the world have actively had hackers trying to hack into all these systems for over a decade now, maybe many decades, to test this system, because you can't take it live and all of a sudden have this systemic risk he's talking about without knowing for sure that this is legit. Then you can take it live. Then you can see Moon out in the wazoo.
For BlackRock to either trade in.
Listen to what he says here. Remember, this is 6 years ago. They weren't ready yet. He's acting like, we just don't. My clients are just not interested in this. They're not interested until they're ready for them to be interested.
Digital assets or digital virtual currencies, if you prefer, or to create a product for your clients.
We're not hearing any demand from any of our clients other than maybe some speculative stuff. We're being asked that question, but it's more of like a venture capital.
That's called talking your book or lying, whichever you prefer.
Interchange, but we're not hearing clients saying that we want to use this as an asset class. No,
it's not.
If there's anything I've learned about Wall Street over my lifetime, it is that lying, that's called talking your book. In fact, they probably created that term just so that they could rationalize lying and feel better about it. It's lying, period. And these guys, lying as a means to an end is perfectly acceptable in their world. Ryan Selka says common bullish BTC narratives ETF approval, halving, QE hedge, all valid and picking up steam. But there are bigger catalysts: FASB fair value accounting, geopolitical black swans, mass protests, dumping bank deposits for BTC in play in U.S. Now this is what was lost yesterday. Just in 71 million in leveraged positions, wiped out by the fake Bitcoin ETF news. If I was one of those people, the lawsuits would be flying towards Cointelegraph if it was me. Now, John Deaton was on. You should go watch it. Go to @CryptoLawUS. But John Deaton was talking about his book, Food Stamp Warrior, which is great, on Charles Payne. Watch this whole clip because he lays it out well. And then this is Andrew Whitworth from Ripple.
Thanks very much for having me, Ricardo, and the Payment Association. It's very good to be talking to you all. Maybe it'd be helpful if I quickly say at the beginning, who Ripple is. So Ripple's a blockchain company. We help businesses move, manage, and tokenize value. And our core service helps businesses make cross-border payments cheaper, faster, and more transparently. So that's where we sit in this ecosystem. I think you're right. Crypto is here to stay. For me, the important thing is to understand what we mean by crypto. A lot of people in the general public, media, public sector, some people are still used to think about crypto just in terms of the price of a retail token, a Bitcoin. But it's much more than that. You know this, presumably the people listening to this know this. But the crypto ecosystem is diverse. There are a very wide range of actors with different business models, different use cases for the underlying technology, crypto asset technology. One key distinction, for example, is between consumer-facing tokens, so these retail ones, and crypto asset businesses that service other businesses, B2B.
Now, I'm going to stop there. It's time to head off into private group land. And in private group land today, we're going to be talking about a few things. One, you know that country that starts with a C and ends in an A and has a red flag and it's really creepy? We're also going to be talking about the real life Dr. Evil, who I've never been allowed to talk about on YouTube. We're going to talk about the elites and their private jets. And we're really going to talk about, with the current SEC chairman, that's just the tip of the evil, corrupt iceberg in terms of what this guy has really done. We're going to talk about that. So here we go, private group. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that I don't believe it's not one side of the aisle, it's both.